What is going on, everyone? This is Alex. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you join me today. I wanted to talk about something that I haven't been talking a lot about in recent weeks, recent months. It's something that I've shared more about in previous years even, and that is the subject of pornography and our avoidance of it. Now, as we move into a new year, I'm recording this at the beginning of 2021. I've just been on a run. I'm feeling hyped up. I'm feeling ready to move into a new year with some rigor, a new sense of commitment, a new sense of just jumping into it and feeling good about things. And porn for me was one of those things that came to my mind recently. I'm actually on day 10 of nofap, so I'm feeling pretty good. Porn is one of those things that when I was kind of figuring out what are the habits as we start a new year, what are the habits that are worth prioritizing. Now, I try and do this all through the year, but of course, just with the way the new year is, we tend to think of these things perhaps a bit more than often. And for me, I wanted to identify that one habit, going by Gary Keller's approach of just, out of all the things we could be doing, picking that one thing that's going to make the biggest difference. For me, it was a no-brainer that quitting porn, and this is leaving aside masturbation and all the other stuff associated with it, this is just focusing on that kind of core bad habit of immersing ourselves in filthy material that heightens our senses, overstimulates us, burns out our dopamine receptors, creates enormous crashes in us, depletes us of energy, depletes us of physical power, and all the benefits that come from abstaining from this artificial source of heightened tension and arousal and stimulation. I don't need to go into the details of the science to show you how pornography is extremely detrimental to anyone who comes across it. It's a filthy industry. I would quite happily dedicate my entire life to taking down that industry. I'm not one normally for banning things. I'm not the sort of person that says ban this, ban that, get rid of it. You know, we can each make our own decisions in life, but porn is one of those things that I can see having a very negative impact on the people around it, more so than anything because I know myself and I know my own reaction to it. It always makes me depressed. It makes me feel low. There's a huge crash. It takes me away from my ability to just steam forward and do well with stuff and actually just be more present, be more alive, be more conscious as I move through the day. So that's my number one habit of all habits for 2021 that I wanted to share with you. I wanted to kind of revive this idea that I am working on nofap, that I am focused on quitting porn. I have to admit, I did get back into watching too much porn towards the end of 2021. I was coming up with excuses around the lockdowns and all the other things that we come up with to give us reasons to do stuff that is tempting in the short term, of course detrimental in the long term. But I'm quitting porn for good. I'm doing it. I want you guys to come with me on this, join me, rejoice with me on this journey. And I want to encourage you guys who are kind of on the fence about it. Maybe you've lost that spark, that drive behind wanting to do it. Maybe you were committed a while ago, but you kind of lost that. I want to be the guy who leads you through this again. I'm going to be giving you various updates as I go along. I'll be sharing my journey, my process. Notice I'm not focusing on nofap for now because what I have found is that nofap creates so much pressure and so much heaviness around quitting one of the hardest things that men can commit to quitting, which is masturbating, okay? Let's be real, it's really, really difficult to completely go cold turkey on all pornography, masturbation, and the orgasm. All three of those things are really difficult to cut out. So I'm just focusing on that first thing, that kind of the highest leverage piece that if you were to quit could have a kind of cascading effect across all your other habits, across everything else in life. If you can obviously combine it into nofap and stop with the fiddling with your jimmy jangler on top of the porn, that's an added benefit. But I just wanted to focus, for those of you who are struggling, including myself, you know, I haven't done a particularly good job this year, just to focus on that one habit, making that the habit to end all habits, and hopefully it'll have a nice kind of cascading, connecting effect on all the other habits that you might want to also work on this year. But the first thing for me, if you can quit porn, you really have a lot sussed, because it's one of the hardest things to give up in this kind of porn-heavy, over-sexualized world. We're surrounded by it all the time, even things that we don't even know and see as porn anymore, which is porn, like girls showing their asses on Instagram every 3 seconds. That's going to be a trigger. So in terms of helping you guys along, I want to keep this video short, but I wanted to throw in a few tips for myself and for you to listen in on, just to remind ourselves of what are the big ways to stay off it that have really helped me. For me, the big one is being really strict with yourself about avoiding anything that looks sexualized, anything that will trigger you into a cascade of thoughts. I'm using the word cascade a lot in this video, I'm very proud of myself, that lead to wanting to watch porn entirely in its entirety and all the other things that are associated with it. So make sure you're really powerful, really strict with yourself about just turning away from anything that looks pornographic. And it doesn't have to be like a straining kind of turning away. It can be just, oh, I see it, I'm going to move away. So it's a gentle strictness with self, right? If you're overly strict with self, it creates resistance, there's a tightness around the whole thing, and it means that it feels like you're climbing a mountain rather than just carrying on with your life as normal. That for me has been a big learning point. It's just the fact that we don't need to be that tight with ourselves, as the actress said to the bishop. We don't need to be forceful about this stuff. We just need to gently look away from it. That's big for me because that's obviously where the trigger is. If we see a half-naked lady on Instagram, delete it, turn off the notifications if you can, stop looking at Instagram. Yeah, cut out those triggers, be really strict with even glancing for short periods, just turn away from it. The other really important factor that so many other people who talk about nofap and porn don't mention so much is that we have total control over our experience when we understand the role that thinking plays in our day-to-day. And if our thoughts are comprised of, oh, I miss porn, I wish I was watching porn, or you're fantasizing, then you're going to respond to those thoughts through behaviors. You're going to start looking for porn, you're going to act on those thoughts if you get carried away with those thoughts. If you have thoughts that are just making you tempted, then what's happening in that moment is you're not conscious, you're no longer present, you're no longer with the stuff that's in front of you that you need to be getting on with. You're being carried away into a dream world, and you're allowing that dream world, those thoughts, to dictate your life, to dictate your confusion, and you're being lost in the world. So make sure that you return to consciousness whenever you notice that you're being dragged into the temptation. What's happening is it's not the porn that's doing it, it's your thinking on it that's creating that behavior, that emotional high, and even excitement that's leading to the potential that you might pick it up. So be aware of your thoughts, notice when those unhelpful thoughts come up around it, and let them go. Be okay with letting them go, just in the same way that you would gently turn away from a sexualized image, whatever it is. Gently turn away from those thoughts that are trying to drag you back into the quagmire of being immersed in that filthy world. All right, guys, so that's my 2 cents around how to stay off the P. And just to reiterate, quitting porn is my number one habit to end all habits of 2021. I want you guys to join me on this journey. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys find through this process, how this is going to help you, how many good things that are going to be brought through doing this. And yeah, I'm not going to talk any more on this. Do subscribe if you want to keep track of what I'm doing. I'll be talking about various other habits as well going into 2021. I have big plans for this channel for this year as well, so make sure you are connected in some way, be it hitting the subscribe button, making sure notifications are switched on. Do like this video if you found it valuable and you want other people to see it in their own timelines, and share this video with your friends who you think will benefit from it, who you also want to maybe work with as accountability partners on this whole thing. And make sure you're following my newsletter. You'll find it at alexmathers.net. I share short written pieces and I give you updates around what I'm doing, classes I'm running, that kind of thing that you won't get anywhere else, so make sure you're following me there as well. Peace out, guys.